The purpose of this video is to show the basic setup, features, and functions within Skype for Business. This is a new utility that we are utilizing more at Hiroshi, and my hope is to make it a little bit easier to understand some of the different settings and some of the setup functions. We're going to talk through the setup and go right into instant messaging, and there'll be a different video which will get into video chats and phone calls within that system. Let's go ahead and get this started. So here we have our Skype window, Skype for Business window opened up. If you have not opened up Skype for Business yet at this point and logged in, you will need to do that to get to this screen. Your login is your regular email, Hiroshi GL email address, and the password is the password you use for your email account. So when you get to this screen, the first thing we want to start off is at the top here, we have our status. There are several different options within this available. Obviously, I'm available would be the indication if you're throughout your normal day. For the sake of this recording, I don't want to be disturbed by inbound calls or messages coming in from Skype, so I'm going to select Do Not Disturb. We'll just take a quick look at those items as well up in the top here. If it's the end of the day and you're done for the day, you can mark your Skype as off work, so it's very obvious to folks that they shouldn't expect to see you till the next day. You can do be right back. Maybe I need to take a quick break. You can be busy. Maybe you're in a meeting. One note about busy is if you are in a meeting and that meeting is on your Outlook calendar or you're on a call currently with the folks, it will show up as busy automatically. So you don't have to select that before each call or each time that you're trying to do a meeting. It will do that automatically. So those are the different options within your status. Right below that, there's a box here that says set your location. Go ahead and just click in that box. And in my case, I'm in my home office. And I type in home office. If you're at Downers Grove, you type Downers Grove. If I was in the Andover, Massachusetts office, I would type in Andover, Massachusetts, or Boston office, as most folks know that location. And then you just hit enter and it stays up there and it shows it within that list. So going across here, we have our contacts, we have conversations, and we have meetings. Just going to jump over to meetings real quick. This will show you the meetings that are in your Outlook calendar. They will appear in this list here. This spot here will show previous conversations that you had with folks. So it has a time and a date stamp within that system. And then jumping back here, this is our contact list. It's broken into groups. We have a favorites group and we have an other contacts group. For the favorites, I put my team members for the Region 30 team. Their names will appear in this list here, and so I can quickly access an update on my team members. You can see their status icon right there next to their profile picture. When you hover your cursor over somebody's profile picture, it brings up the most common options that we would select. In this case, the instant message chat window, doing a call with that person, a video call with that person, seeing their contact card, and then there's more options. The more options will include things like adding them or removing them from your favorites list or your contact list. You can also send an email to that person through this interface, and it'll open up your Outlook email. Folks will appear in this list, and based on you adding them, if you have not added anybody to your favorites list, there will be no names in your favorites list. But you may have names in your other contacts list if you've carried on conversations with them and added them to your contacts list. If you have no names at all, don't worry, it's very easy to find somebody's name. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you that process. I'm going to type in Taisha right up the top here, and it pulls up Taisha's profile picture and information for her status right here in her contact information. I can hover over her profile picture and it allows me to start a message, a call, video call, or get other information. In my case, I'm actually going to click on that More Options, and we're going to add her to our contact list. Now her name now appears, I'm still in the groups section, her name now appears in the Other Contacts category. If this person is someone you're going to be contacting all the time, you may want to add them to your favorites list. You can add to your favorites just by right-clicking on that person and going down to where it says Add to Favorites, and then it will add them. Looks like they disappeared off here. We're going to go up to our favorites list, and now I can see Taisha is listed in my favorites list. You can also remove somebody from your favorites list if you don't need them in that list anymore. So remove from the favorites list, they automatically go back down into your contacts list. If you then want to remove them from your contacts list completely, you can remove from the group or remove from the contacts list. And it's going to warn you before it does that. And I'm going to remove off my contacts list, still not there. But don't worry if you did that accidentally. You can always, if I can type, sorry Taisha if you're watching this video, I typed your name twice wrong. So you can add that person back into your list if they've been removed from your list. So you can add them back to your contacts list or back into your favorites list right from that screen. We talked about status already a little bit, but there is a status list of the folks that are online. You can group by category. Already set up with these categories. You don't have to change anything with that. Online, away, unknown, unavailable. So that you can see the folks that are online. Note that a person can be online but busy. So we can see in the screen here, there's Taro's contact card, and he is marked as busy. Most likely either in a meeting or he has flagged his contact card as being busy. But either way, that would be an indication that you don't want to reach out to that person right at this moment. I'm going to skip over relationships because we really don't use that and jump over to this tab that says New. When you add somebody to your contact list, on their their Skype screen, your name will show up in this new category so that they have the option to also add you onto their list. So when you first load up this system and you've maybe already been playing around with some calls and contacts, maybe some other folks have added you from your team, look in this new list. You may find their name real quick in here. And you can move them from here over to your groups doing the same thing we did before. You right click on their card and you select add to contacts or add to favorites from that list. The other thing we want to talk about, if you're having any issues with audio or video within your system, there are settings within Skype. So we're going to take a look at that little gear wheel in the corner here. I'm going to click on that little gear wheel and it pulls up a menu of options. Not a lot of changes that you'll have to make in this category, but I'll touch on some of the more important ones that I think will make your job easier. The first category I'm going to click on is this personal category. You can see your email address up in the top here. You just want to make sure that automatically start app when I log into Windows. Make sure that checkbox is on, so that way you don't have to worry about logging in every day. It will do it for you. It'll log you in and it'll mark you as available unless you've set a different status that you prefer. The second one down here, start the app in the foreground. What that means is when you load up Windows, you're telling Skype, I should say, that you want this program to open so you see it. I have the feature turned on because I like to have that window open up immediately. If you uncheck this box, Skype will still open. It just won't open out in the front of everything else. It'll open up in the background. You won't have to see it. So if you're someone who sees the Skype window and you're constantly having to click it to close it, and you're really annoying to close that window, this is the checkbox that causes that. So you can uncheck that and it will no longer show up there. Contact list, we really don't change much there. Status, this one I do like to see a couple of small changes from the default values. Show me is inactive when my computer has been idle for this many minutes. This is, I believe the default is 30 minutes on this. I set mine to 15 minutes. So that way if I get up and forget to change my status when I get up from my chair to go take a break or step away for a moment, this will automatically change that status after 15 minutes to an inactive state. and then the second box is moving you from inactive to away. And that's a little bit indication that you are definitely not there. And I have mine set at 30 minutes. So you can pick a time within that realm, but you can. I find the 15 and 30 is good for most folks. If you don't like your profile picture, you can update that in this category. You can edit or remove profile picture right there. The next one here, phones. I put my cell phone number in here so folks can look up my contact card, and it appears in there. So it's a nice, easy way to get to that. We have alerts. I'm going to skip over some of these other ones that we're not using. Ringtones, pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to jump down to this audio device one. I am actually using a recording device right now to record this video, and the sound is coming in through my webcam. And you can see that this little blue bar is moving. If you have no sound and you clap your hand and you get no sound off of that, that would be an indication that there's something wrong with your audio settings, or you have not selected an active audio device. You can hit this pull down list and see the other options. Try the other options. If it still doesn't work for you, this would be a good sign that it's time to reach out to Mindshift and have them set up your audio settings on your computer. Speakers, this is for the speakers either on your laptop, or if you have external speakers, or if you get your headphones plugged in, that information will appear in here. There's usually just one or two choices in this list, so it's usually the default settings are fine. The next one down here is the video device. This is where you select the camera. In most of your cases, you're just going to have one option up here, which is going to be your laptop camera. Unless you're like me, you have an external camera set up, which is how I have this currently set up. I'm not using my external camera right now, so there's no image displayed here. Now, when you do select an active camera, it will display that information on this. My broadcast program that I'm using to record this video interferes with the camera settings in Skype while I'm recording, so because it's got control of the cameras, so everything's grayed out on my screen, but you'll see your image from your laptop camera displayed right in here. None of these other categories down the bottom here do you really need to mess or make changes with, so I'm just going to skip past those. So let's go back to our groups of our contacts, and we're going to pick one of my contacts and one of my co-workers, and I'm going to start an instant message chat with this person. I will warn you ahead of time, they have no idea I'm going to be doing this, so we're just going to tell them that what I'm doing. Hello, I am, whoops, and I can't type. And didn't I say that earlier? I can't type. Hello, I am showing the functions in Skype as a recorded demo. No need to reply. And there's a spell check feature within this, and obviously my typing is terrible. So it caught that, gives me the opportunity to fix those errors before I look silly to the people that I'm sending messages to. From this window, before I hit send, I'm going to show you right at the top here, it says there are 2 participants in this message. And there's a little plus sign right here. You can invite more people. So if you need to have a chat conversation, think of this as carbon copying or sending an email to multiple people. You can send a chat message or an instant message to multiple people. You click that little button, you add the second person into that list. I'll add my boss, Eric Brown, into that list. And so now Eric Brown and Dave Gallant will be receiving messages from me when I hit the send. I can also attach files to this person. I can mark this as urgent. I can send a website link. And if you have emoticons turned on in the previous settings screens that we were skipping through, you can actually add emoticons in here and they will display. I have emoticons turned off in my software because, well, my typing's so bad that sometimes I make accidental emoticons. So in the bottom here, we have the chat window as active right now, but that's with this little box here. We can turn that on and off, so you can see it turned off, and I turned it back on just by clicking on it. We have our video call button. If I click this right now, it will make a video call out to both Dave Gallant and Eric Brown at the same time. I can make a regular voice call out again because I have 3 participants in this call, 2 other people plus myself, it will make a call to both of those people at the same time. You can also share content, whether it's your desktop, you can share a specific window. So if you want to show somebody a Adobe Acrobat file, but you don't necessarily want them to see your whole desktop, you can share a specific window for a file. So if I wanted to select on that, I could share, here's a whole bunch of other file windows that I have open in the background. I got an email in there, I got a log file in there, an Excel file I have open, I have my window for my web stuff, and I can share a specific window with that person from that option, share content. And I think I mentioned you can add attachments as well. You can send a file or a picture or another device. Most folks are just going to share their desktop with somebody where they see the entire screen. If you have more than one monitor set up, it will give you an option to select which monitor. So in my case, I have multiple monitors. You can see I have primary monitor, which is my laptop. I have a second monitor, that's the recording program that I'm using, and my third monitor, which actually tells me what you're seeing on the screen. And I could share that in a Skype chat window with somebody. So we're just going to hit the little send button here, and you will see there is a text box up the top here that shows up, and it shows what I just typed. We'll see if they actually reply. Hopefully they don't, or at least if they do, it's not something too silly and is on this recording. So we can continue to chat back and forth with folks through this, and then when we're done, we can just close the window, and that will eliminate that screen. And I'm just going to jump over here and show you where that appears. You can see right now, oh, there it is, Dave Gallant, Eric Brown, group chat that I just conducted, and it appears in my history of conversations, and calls appear in here as well. So you can find that data later. We will have a second video that will talk about video calls and regular calls on this, and I'll talk about some of the functions related to that in that separate video. Thank you for your time today.